Dexter's legacy twisted again, Resurrection Episode 5 breakdown, and what comes next? I really thought Dexter had finally met his match. I mean, come on. A woman who kills predators, a mysterious vigilante with her own dark passenger. Mia had that perfect Dexter but make it hot energy. And for a moment, just one brief, delicious moment, I let myself believe it. But if Dexter taught us anything, it's that belief gets you killed. What if I told you Mia was never Lady Vengeance? What if she was never even close? What if Dexter just pulled the most heartless, brutal bait, and switch of his entire franchise, and we all missed it because we were too busy shipping them? I'm Sophia, and this is Breakdown Epic, and today we're diving into a truth bomb that explodes everything you thought you knew about Dexter Resurrection Episode 5, Murder Horny. Yeah, that's the title. And yes, we will talk about it. But here's the twist no one's ready for. Dexter just sacrificed the closest thing to a soulmate he's ever had, not for justice, not for the code, but for something far more human, and far more dangerous. Let me ask you something, when's the last time Dexter Morgan acted this emotional? Because love him or hate him, Dexter's always been methodical, cold, dead inside. But episode 5 flips that entire legacy inside out again. And the result? You remember the hype, right? She was supposed to be Dexter's equal. Lady Vengeance. A moral hunt. A perfect anti-hero to ride shotgun with our favorite blood spatter analyst turned serial killer dad. We bought into the fantasy. Hell, I defended her in my episode 3 breakdown. Remember that? She's not like the rest. I said. Maya could be the one. Well, joke's on me. Because in episode 5 Dexter rips that fantasy apart with surgical precision. And the way he does it. Honestly, it might be the coldest thing he's ever done. Instead of seeing Mia as a kindred spirit, Dexter sees an opportunity. She's not a Lady Vengeance. She's a killer, period. No code, no purpose. Just rage and blood. So what does Dexter do? He lets her burn. He sells her out to save Harrison. Let that sink in. Dexter Morgan, the butcher of Bay Harbor, lets a killer go free, just long enough to frame her, and then serves her up to the NYPD on a silver platter. Not because it's just. Not because it's right, but because it'll clear Harrison's name. That's right, Dexter chose his son over the code. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, now is the time. Because on this channel, we don't just watch Dexter, we dissect him. And things are only getting bloodier from here. Let's talk about what no one's saying out loud. The real reason this episode is terrifying isn't because Dexter sacrificed Mia, it's because he didn't feel anything about it. There's no guilt, no regret, no hesitation, just calculation. He used Mia the same way he used to use slides, to make sense of his world. And if that doesn't chill you, consider this: Dexter is evolving into something scarier than he was before. In the original series, Dexter was bound by the code. Harry's rules were the only thing keeping him from becoming a monster. But now, Harry's back, yes. James Remar's ghostly dad vibes are strong in Resurrection. But he's different too. He's not guiding Dexter toward morality anymore. He's supporting Dexter's decisions, even when they break the code. That, my friends, is the real horror show. Harry Morgan is now playing Grandpa. And Dexter, he's not just a killer. He's a father who kills for his son. That's a dangerous upgrade. Remember when we all thought Harrison would be a mini Dexter? That the show was building up to a father-son killing duo? Wrong again. Turns out, Harrison's normal, neurotypical, empathetic, guilt-ridden. He doesn't want to kill. He wants peace. And Dexter, he'll kill anyone to protect that peace. Even if it means betraying every principle he's ever stood for. Let that irony punch you in the throat. Let's play a game. Comment below with one word. Would you save your kid or save your soul? Be honest. Because this is where it gets real. Imagine you're Dexter. Your son's about to be taken down for a murder he kinda committed. You know someone else just as guilty, just as bad. Do you let your son rot? Or do you break your own code and offer up a human sacrifice? Yeah, it doesn't sound so black and white anymore, does it? Here's another question for you veterans of the Dexter-verse. Do you think Deb would have approved of this? Would Deborah Morgan, chaotic, full-mouthed, fiercely loyal Deb, have stood by while Dexter burned someone just to save his son? If you said yes, you've clearly blocked out the last 3 seasons. Also, if you're a real one and watched my episode 2 breakdown, then you remember this moment. Dexter doesn't fear getting caught anymore. He fears being alone. Well, guess what? Now he's both. Because no matter how much he tries to be a good dad, Harrison sees through it. You can feel the distance. The way he flinches at the blood. The guilt in his eyes. That father-son vigilante dream. It's dead. And Dexter knows it. Which brings us to Leon Prater. Remember the dinner party from hell? Dexter's been checking names off that list like a psycho Santa Claus. Red, dead. Lowell the tattoo collector. Gone. Mia, disposed of. But here's the forbidden knowledge the show quietly drops in episode 50. Prater's inner circle is watching. Charlie, the head of security, isn't buying the coincidences anymore. 2 guests dead, 1 arrested, all within days of each other. Charlie's not stupid, and neither is Prater. So here's my theory. Dexter's cover is blown. He just doesn't know it yet. And the scariest part, they might not want to kill him. They might want to recruit him. Because if Dexter is really the Bay Harbor butcher, then to them, he's not a threat. He's a god. But what happens when the predator becomes the prey again? And what comes next when Harrison finds out the price of his freedom? If you were Leon Prater, and 3 of your elite serial killers suddenly vanished, wouldn't you start hunting the hunter? Because that's exactly where this is going. And here's the real kicker. I don't think Predator wants to kill Dexter. No, that'd be too easy. I think he wants to indoctrinate him, because when a cult of serial killers discovers that the Bay Harbor Butcher is real, and he's in their ranks, they don't call the cops, they call him king. Let's break this wide open. Here's what no one is saying: Leon Prater is not just a serial killer collector, he's building an army. You think that murder museum was just creepy decor, that dinner party was just for shock value. Think bigger. Prater isn't just celebrating killers, he's training them, organizing them, empowering them. This is a recruitment model. Red was loyalty, Lowell was obsession, Maya was rage. Each killer represented a core personality, a psychological archetype, and guess who represents discipline? Dexter. He's the one thing Predator's roster is missing, a killer who doesn't kill for chaos, but for order. That's why Dexter is still alive. That's why they let him walk away from the party without consequence. And now they're watching, waiting, testing him. If Dexter can survive the fallout of his own actions, he'll be crowned. You know who won't survive this? Harrison. Let's stop pretending this kid is built for the blood. He dismembered a body, and he's still shaking from it 2 episodes later. He didn't inherit the dark passenger. He inherited something worse: Dexter's trauma. Without Dexter's mask, and now that his freedom was bought by sacrificing another life, that guilt is festering. In episode 5, Harrison barely speaks. He avoids eye contact. He stares at the blood under his nails. And did you catch the line? Dad, I didn't ask you to do this. Oof. That's not relief. That's shame. And it's not going away. Here's a hypothesis. What if Harrison becomes Dexter's new Deborah? The one who knows the truth, but can't live with it. And what happens if Harrison turns on Dexter? Not to the cops, but to Prater. Imagine the drama. Pause right here. Comment below. Is Dexter saving Harrison, or destroying him? Let's be real, some of y'all are rooting for a father-son vigilante squad, and I get it, but others? You see the writing on the wall. This isn't legacy, this is a curse. Let me pull you back to season 4, remember Trinity? Remember what it cost Dexter to try and play the family man? Rita died. Harrison ended up in a pool of his mother's blood, and Dexter, he shattered. Now in Resurrection, he's trying again. But here's the problem: you can't have a family when your family is the crime scene. Mia was a test, and Dexter failed, not because he didn't kill her, but because he used her. He played God. And now, the gods of death, Prater and his cult, are watching. Also, can we talk about how episode 5 is called Murder Horny? Like really? That's what we're doing now? Some intern in the writer's room said, let's mix violence with thirst, and everyone just went with it. What's next? Episode 60, Kill Me Maybe. Please, if Dexter starts doing TikToks with blood slides, I'm out. Side note: UKM Ghost Deb would have roasted that title to hell and back. So let's talk episode 6, because the trailer dropped some nuclear clues. Dexter's seen sitting across from Charlie, and that smug, squinty-eyed stare, that's not small talk, that's interrogation. And here's the twist: Charlie knows Dexter killed Red. He knows Lowell's death wasn't random. He just doesn't care, because he thinks Dexter deserves to be there. But you know who doesn't agree? Prater's real heir. Yeah, that's the next twist. My theory: Charlie's not just head of security, he's next in line. And if Dexter's about to steal his throne, there will be blood. Let's say Prater betrays him. Let's say Harrison gets hurt. Let's say everything falls apart. Will Dexter go full dark passenger again? Because make no mistake, this version of Dexter is not stable. He doesn't have Deborah. He doesn't have the code. All he has is this fragile, bleeding thread tying him to Harrison. If that thread snaps, he won't be the butcher. He'll be the bomb. And everyone in that museum, everyone at that dinner table, they're dead. Let's take a breath. Because here's what this all comes down to. Dexter's legacy was never about killing. It was about control over himself, over his urges, over the chaos. But now he's lost control. Maya was just the beginning. He's making emotional decisions. He's cutting corners. He's trying to be a father, not a monster. But he can't be both. That's the tragedy. Dexter wants to love without guilt, kill without consequence. But this world won't let him. Because the truth is, every time Dexter tries to be human, someone dies. And this time, it might be Harrison. Or worse, it might be Dexter himself.